Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Should Solskjaer be sacked? Some of our fans want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out following the defeat to Villarreal in the Europa League final. It's not been a successful season for Manchester United, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has accepted that. I really wanted us to win that Europa League final, because if we'd have won it, that would have been Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first trophy as Manchester United manager. So another trophyless season for Man United. We haven't won a trophy since 2017, and that's nowhere near good enough to our standards. Solskjaer is set for a new 3-year deal despite the Europa League final loss. I presume there's still some Man United fans that are Ole in, and they believe that he needs a bit more time at the club. Next season is going to be massive for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I think he is aware of that. Next season, he has got to exceed expectations if he is to remain Manchester United manager. If we start off badly next season, then he will be under serious pressure. Solskjaer has endured 2 full seasons as Manchester United manager. He's been in charge of the club now for around 29 months. That's over 2 years. He isn't the long-term manager for Manchester United, I can assure that. Despite us losing the Europa League final, I've still got to give Solskjaer credit, because I didn't expect him to do as well as he has done. You've got to say Solskjaer has done well to say the squad he was left with when he got appointed in as Man United manager. Not long now until the summer transfer window opens. It opens on the 9th of June. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is aware of how big the transfer window is going to be for himself and Manchester United in general. It's very imperative that Solskjaer gets the players he wants to recommend in, and he needs backing, because the board have not backed him enough so far. When we have been inconsistent, not all of the blame has stemmed from Solskjaer, but obviously some of the blame stems from Solskjaer. I did criticise him in that Europa League final defeat because he made some mistakes. The substitutions he brought on were wrong. He brought the subs on far too late. Should have brought them on quicker. Should have taken Rashford off because he sustained a knock. And he should have replaced De Gea with Dean Henderson in the penalty shootout. But there's been a lot of games where Solskjaer's been tactically naive. And I said, one of my biggest concerns about Ole is his decision making. My other concern about Ole, he hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager. We've got to get someone in who's got that big club mentality, and someone who's got a proven pedigree. Solskjaer recently demanded 3 world-class signings in order for Man United to challenge for the Premier League title next season. Can we challenge for the league next season, or possibly win it? Well, it depends on how we recruit in the summer transfer window. We haven't won the league since 2013, which is 8 years ago now. There is a lot of players that Manchester United are looking at. Now, obviously, you know the news on Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund. Jadon Sancho has Man United transfer hopes as Borussia Dortmund are looking at replacements. Sancho wants his future resolved before the start of the Euros. Dortmund have set their asking price to £182 million. Borussia Dortmund have already told Jadon Sancho that he can leave the club this summer, and Solskjaer's made him a transfer priority. So yeah, that's a massive boost for Man United. Fabrizio Romano said not so long ago that Man United are interested in Jadon Sancho, but there's been no official talks or bid yet. He said it's still an open race. Borussia Dortmund did confirm earlier on this year that they've got a gentleman's agreement with Sancho that will allow him to depart the club this summer. And the Manchester Evening News said that Sancho is pushing for a transfer out of Dortmund, and at one point it said Man United could use Lingard to buy Sancho, because Solskjaer's made his final decision on Jesse Lingard. He's ready to sell him. Liverpool have been in for Sancho before. Chelsea are in for him, and Bayern Munich recently entered the race. Last summer, Jadon Sancho was our number one priority target. But the main reason we didn't get him is because we was reluctant to meet Borussia Dortmund's 108 million valuation. We was only willing to pay so much up front. But last summer, the personal terms had been agreed, the agent fees had been agreed, and a contract had been agreed. Dortmund made it clear to us that we had until the 10th of August to sign the player. We obviously missed out on that deadline, so Sancho remained at Dortmund. Sancho's been at Dortmund for 4 years now. Analysing the vast majority of his career at Dortmund, he's been very consistent. He's had a couple of bad periods here and there. Dortmund paid just £7 million for him from Man City, and he's got a contract with Dortmund until 2023. But the reasons I take Sancho at Man United is because he'd fit in our team perfectly. He would create good chances for us, and he would score good goals for us as well. He would exceed expectations in the league, and he's got a very good friendship with Marcus Rashford. You know, they do talk to each other a lot, and he's predominantly a right winner. Harry Kane, there's a chance that Man United will sign him in the summer transfer window. If he doesn't come to us, he will go to Man City. Now, recently it said that Man United are preparing to sign Kane, and we are ready to double his wages to around £400,000 a week. And it said we would be ready to pay an £18 million signing on fee to compensate the loss of his earnings on his Tottenham contract. Solskjaer is pushing for Man United to sign Kane. He's open to selling Martial to fund the Harry Kane transfer. Gary Neville recently named 3 players Man United could swap for Harry Kane. That's Martial, Jesse Lingard and Daniel James. Tottenham are keen on a players plus cash deal for Kane. Daniel Levy, Tottenham's chairman, he doesn't want Tottenham to sell Harry Kane because he is aware of how much of an imperative player he is. Daniel Levy was furious with Harry Kane the other week for going public with his desire to leave. Obviously, Kane got interviewed by Gary Neville to discuss his future. Daniel Levy recently slapped a £200 million asking price on Kane. 200 million, that's a world record fee. Tottenham won't get nowhere near 200 million. Initially, there was demanding from between 120 to 150 million. I think the most they'll get is 120 million. But yeah, the other week, Harry Kane put a transfer request in at Tottenham. Obviously, Kane said he wants to win team trophies. He said that after Tottenham's Carabao Cup final defeat to Man City. Tottenham have not won a trophy now for like 13 years. Kane recently won the Golden Boot. He's won it now 3 times. Man United, Man City and Chelsea have all been in contact with Harry Kane's representatives. Chelsea recently launched a bid. It said they was willing to offer Arrizabalaga and Tammy Abraham as part of a swap deal for Kane. But quite a few weeks ago, it said that Harry Kane was ready to ask Tottenham to listen to transfer offers this summer, and it actually said the Glazers were planning to sanction a £90 million bid. The reasons I'd take Kane at Manchester United is because he's regarded as one of the best strikers in the world. He's a prolific goal scorer. He's well proven in the Premier League and he would fit in our team perfectly. We still want a striker despite Cavani signing a 1-year deal not so long ago. Harry Kane, has been a long-serving player at Tottenham. He's enjoyed 17 years with them, been in their senior squad since 2009. Came up their academy. He's got a contract with Tottenham till 2024. He's had loan spells before with Leyton Orient, Millwall, Norwich and Leicester. And we have done business with Tottenham before. We got Michael Carrick off them a lot of years ago. And we also got Darren Fletcher off them. Dimitar Berbatov off them a lot of years ago. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is interested in Declan Rice from West Ham. Declan Rice is desperate for Jesse Lingard to seal a permanent transfer at West Ham, because Lingard's made a fantastic impact since he's gone out on loan to West Ham. Darren Fletcher, our technical director, did reveal not so long ago that Declan Rice was asking about Man United when he was on international duty with England. Reports came out the other month saying that Declan Rice is interested in joining Man United, and he asked Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw about life at Old Trafford. And it actually said at one point West Ham were demanding £100 million. That's way too much for Declan Rice. I reckon he's worth from between £60 to £70 million. But Rice could actually go for £50 million in the summer transfer window. £50 million is a reasonable fee. I think Declan Rice, if he came to us, he'd fit in our team perfectly. He'd be a good adequate replacement for Matic. He's predominantly a holding midfielder, and Man United need a holding midfielder. He can also be deployed as a centre-half, and Rice is well Premier League proven. Obviously, the news on Rafael Varane from Real Madrid. Solskjaer also wants him. I'm expecting outgoings in the summer transfer window, but Solskjaer did recently say there may not be many outgoings. I've already gone through with you the players I think should leave. He's still Deadwood at Manchester United. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, there's positivity regarding him. You got to credit him in quite a lot of aspects in his second full season. You know, he did get us a second place finish in the league. That's not an achievement, but you can see that progress was made from his first full season. You know, he got us to the Europa League final in his second full season, but unfortunately didn't win it, as we all wanted. You know, he got us to the EFL Cup semi-final, got us to the FA Cup quarter-final. We did go the entire Premier League season without losing away from home. That's a good record. You can say Ollie did well in his first full season, guided us to 3 semi-finals and got us a third place finish. And qualification for the Champions League, you know, winning the Champions League for next season. You know, I think he has made good signings as Man United manager so far. He's spent almost £300 million. He has got rid of a lot of players since he's come in as well. And I like the way he has promoted the youth. And I've also got to credit Solskjaer, because when he got appointed in as Man United manager, he assured everybody would get their chances to express themselves, including the young players, and more or less everybody has been given their chances. Solskjaer knew it was going to be a massive job, you know, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. The reason he's still Manchester United manager is because he's a club legend. That's what's basically saved him. You know, disregarding being a club legend, I can almost assure he would have been sacked now. Because we have enjoyed very, very bad periods under him where you can turn around and say, yeah, he was lucky not to be sacked. We love Ollie. You know, like I said, he's a club legend. He enjoyed 11 years as a player for Man United. He flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance. But he hasn't got it. He hasn't got what it takes as a manager. I hate to say it, but I'm just being realistic. You know, obviously before he was with us, he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles and that at Molde, but they're not a big club. He enjoyed 2 spells at Molde, and before that he was at Cardiff, and his record at Cardiff was absolutely abysmal. He only enjoyed a short tenure with Cardiff. To be honest with you, if we did decide to sack Solskjaer, I don't think it'd really solve anything, because like I said earlier on, not all of the blame stems from him. It's not always just the manager's fault. We've already sacked 3 managers since Ferguson. You know, we sacked David Moyes after 10 months. He was the worst manager we ever had. You know, we finished 7th under the David Moyes era. That's the lowest we've finished in the Premier League era. You know, we sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years, despite him winning the FA Cup, and we sacked Jose Mourinho after, 2.5 years, despite him winning 3 trophies in his first season and getting us a second place finish. So you can say Mourinho did enjoy 1 good season at Man United. The board's been one of the biggest problems at the club for a long time, reflecting how poor our recruitment policy's been. We've also overpaid for players. And in general, we've made mistakes in the last 8 years or so, and that's why we've been nowhere near as consistent as we'd like to have been. We've spent over £1 billion in the last 8 years on players, and must have brought around 37 players in since Ferguson retired. But like I've said to you, no one is going to replicate what Sir Alex Ferguson did at the club, and no one's going to last as long as Ferguson did. Like I said to you, Ferguson enjoyed 26-27 years at Man United. He won 30 odd trophies, so reflecting on that, he brought success to the club. Good job Ferguson didn't get sacked any time in that 4-year period where he didn't win anything, or we wouldn't have had any success now, because before Ferguson we was inconsistent. You know, there is good players at Manchester United. There really, really is. And there's a lot of players that will stay in the summer transfer window, and I reckon there's quite a few players that have got long-term futures at the club. Dean Henderson, he's a very, very good goalkeeper. Obviously, he's our number one goalkeeper. And we made the right decision putting him as number one because he's done well in a lot of his games that he's been in goal for during the season. And plus he's got that experience behind him because he did endure 2 successful loans with Sheffield United. He's also had other loan spells before. There's actually been rumours of Dean Henderson possibly leaving. I hope he doesn't leave though. Luke Shaw, he's going to be staying obviously, and he's a very, very good player. Was our best player, last season. Had a lot of good games, but towards the end of the season, Luke Shaw really, really looked off the pace. And Luke Shaw's had a good career at Man United despite his injuries. He's been at the club for like 7 years now. He's our first choice left back despite the arrival of Tellez last summer. I think Eric Bailly, he's good, and obviously we know he's staying. He hasn't done well though in his last couple of games. The other week, Bailly signed a new contract on Man United until 2024. There's also an option of a further year. Did we make a mistake giving him that new contract? Eric Bailly is a good centre-half, but he's too injury prone, so in that aspect he is a liability. Harry Maguire, I think he can be good when he wants to be, but he's also had his bad games. Obviously Harry Maguire has got ligament damage in his ankle. He sustained the ankle injury in our 3-1 win against Aston Villa. He travelled to Gdansk, but obviously couldn't play because he missed the final training session. Wan-Bissaka, I think he's really, really improving. In recent games he's been getting forward more, he's been putting good crosses into the box, and he's been getting in good positions, and defensively he's always been good. Bruno Fernandes, obviously he's very, very good as well. It recently said that Fernandes is set to sign a new contract at Man United. He said he's close to agreeing a new £200,000 a week deal because Bruno Fernandes did admit he's happy with the progress of Solskjaer's team. Fernandes has made a difference in this team. I think also Greenwood's good as well. Greenwood's done well in a lot of his games since he broke into our senior squad. I think he's got a long-term future at Man United. Rashford is good, but he's endured quite a lot of bad games at Man United. And Cavani's very, very good. He's made an impact since he's come in. Cavani is obviously staying for next season, isn't he? Obviously, Man United have got to get the Glazers out of the football club. The reasons we've got to get the Glazers out of the football club is because they have put us in so much debt. And in general, I hate the way the football club has been run for a long time. The Glazers have been at Manchester United for 16 years. They bought the club for 500 million back in 2005. Obviously, there was a lot of protesting going on against the Glazers at Old Trafford not so long ago. Joe Glazer, as you all know, will be attending the fans forum on the 4th of June. Not so long ago, Joe Glazer wrote a letter to Man United fans. And not so long ago, Avram Glazer refused to apologise over the European Super League. At the beginning of May, Solskjaer said that the Glazers apologised to him over it. Solskjaer said that the violent incidents went too far, but he says the club need to take notice of the fans because you can understand the fans' frustration. And at one point, Solskjaer was angry with Gary Neville over the protest. Neville had a lot to say on it. It said earlier on this year that the Glazers could be forced to sell Man United, but for only £4 billion. Obviously, we've got Woodward out of the club. You know, he's standing down at the end of the year. It got announced earlier on this year that Woodward resigned as Manchester United vice chairman. I presume all United fans were happy with that news, because we've been critical of Woodward for a long time. Ed Woodward has had a 16-year association with Manchester United. He did say though, didn't he, at one point, Woodward, that he believes Solskjaer's the right man to lead the club forward, and he released a statement earlier on this season regarding Solskjaer and the players, and he said, you know, the progress by Solskjaer and the players is clear. We'll be doing another video soon. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.